Okay then. My screen is visible, right? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as discussed, today we'll see different type of OS. Basically, we'll focus more on Kali Linux. So because this is the tool which you're going to use throughout. Okay, after this, like throughout the all practical session. Most of the time we'll be using Kali or Windows. Windows, I'm sure you might be familiar with it. So we'll see Kali. Also, we'll see what is advantages and all one by one. Okay. So guys, there is two types of software. One is system software and another one is application software. So as you know, when we talk about application software, it is whatever apps we are using. That is any apps that is inside the OS. And system software is like which is necessary to run a system. For example, Linux, Windows, Mac OS, any type of OS. OS is called as system software. And also when we talk about Android, Android is also system software, and all the apps that we are using is called as application software. And types of operating system, we know is Microsoft Windows, Linux, Unix, and other, and there are many more. So Windows, I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. So we use Windows, like most of the user nowadays use Windows only. It is easily available, and it is too friendly. And many softwares are available. We can do gaming in Windows easily. So Windows is widely used, and after that Linux and Unix. These are the like open based software system. So once you are familiar with Linux and all, like basically what we do in Linux and Unix, we operate it through command line. Okay. So if you are not there is no much graphical interface. So once you are thorough with your all the uh, let's say all the commands and all in Linux, so we are familiar with it. Like good knowledge is required to use Linux, and also virus we don't get in Linux. It is very rare. It is not that Linux will not get infected by virus, but it's very rare. Okay, it's difficult. And when we talk about Microsoft Windows and all, it's too common because many vulnerabilities are available, and it is common. So Windows, it's the advantage and disadvantage of Windows and Linux. So in Linux also, there are many type of Linux. And it's not only one Linux. Like when we talk about Peppermint, can you name some Linux OS? Anyone? One by one. Okay, I'll say there are many type of Linux OS, and things are this Linux OS is free. Okay, so you can anytime you can edit, you can make it as your own. You can change it, like you can customize it your own however you want. Linux, we can use a Linux Mint, and Parrot OS and Fedora, Debian. There are many type of Linux OS, and one good thing about Linux OS is this is open source. That is, you can customize it however you want. Also, I've seen even my friends have seen they have customized their OS for even for their Android. So they have created their own Android OS and all. So Linux is open based. You have to like you can change it any type. You can customize it to it as per your need. So why Kali Linux? So when we talk about security and all, most of the hacking thing and all, we use Kali only because first thing it has all inbuilt tools, and secondly it is feasible. So other if you're using other Linux, usually what you have to do, we have to download the particular tool and then we have to use. But in case of Kali Linux, most of the tools are pre-installed. So we can perform a lot of tasks as device engineering, penetration testing, security research, and all. So even in big tech giants and companies and all, we use Kali Linux as a major machine, and doesn't mean that uh, doesn't mean that we don't use other OS. Like if I say Kali Linux only, that doesn't mean that I am not using other type of OS. So most of the time, some softwares also sometimes we need Windows as well, and rarely we need Mac. But most of the time we'll need Windows also. So Kali is not only the source, we also need many other OS also based on the suitability. Like every OS is customized, and there are some their own pros and cons. So advantage of Kali Linux, there are 600 penetration tools, and yeah, Kali Linux is free, so you can always download it and you can update it time to time, and you can also develop it and you can also change this code, and you can also change it as per as your need. It has multi-language support. It is completely customizable. As I told, you can customize it like however you need. Okay, and see, when we use Kali Linux and all, we can also use VMware and all virus free. And there is virus. I cannot say that it is completely virus free, but there is a chances that virus may also come, because every system there is vulnerability. Okay, so there might be chances that virus may also exist. So I cannot say it is completely free. So to install Kali Linux, as I told yesterday, one technique I told, easy to in dual boot. Do you know, guys, how to dual boot the system in Linux? Like I'm sure you might be knowing about VMware and all. Do you know how to do it dual boot? Anyone? So in dual boot, what we do, we use the two kind of like OS. For example, if you are using Windows, while booting process only, they will ask which system do you want. Like I can either choose Linux or any OS. I can choose Linux or Windows as per my demand. And even in Android, as I told, EC2, we can also run Kali Linux on Android as well. And after that, USB, and USB is the best thing, because whenever we use USB, so I can create image of different type of OS, and according to my need, if now I need Kali, so I can just take my Kali USB and use that. So it will be in like that. So it will be based on as per my need. So it will not say take system space. So all the operations will be done through USB only. So you can take 8 GB 8 GB pen drive, or 4 GB pen drive. For 4 GB Kali is not possible, I guess. 8 GB minimum. So using 8 GB pen drive, you can just boot it in your pen drive, and you can freely use it. And when I talk about Android also, yesterday using EC2 technique, we can also run that same thing on Android. And attacks of Kali. So as we told, DOS attack, and there is a tool called Aircrack NG, and FatRat Metasploit attack. So all the tools are pre-built, and as I told, there are more than 900 tools, and 600 attacks can be done only using Kali tools of Kali, and other 300 tools are like information gathering and all. There are many classifications of the same. So when we talk about attacks only, there are 600 tools that we can use for attacking. So it's one plus point of the same. And you know what is denial of service attack. So using a tool in the Kali itself, we can like DOS attack. We can perform DOS attack. So after, yeah, we can perform DOS attack. So when we are performing DOS attack, as I told, we are just simply pushing on the traffic. We are simply pushing on the traffic. I hope you remember that class where we talked about DOS attack. So we will simply send packets, a numerous number of packets, so that we flood the website, and the website is completely crashed. No other process is gonna work there. So it is a kind of DOS attack. So that also we can easily perform it using Kali. We can also use it through Linux and all, but it's a bit complicated task. One good thing about Kali Linux is we have all pre-installed tools, so that there is no much we need not alter it much. We can easily use that. So that's the advantage of Kali. And as I told, what we do is the same DOS attack. So the attackers' computer, whatever is there, what they do, they send malicious traffic through the internet, and by which what happens, the real users are unable to access that, because when the real users come into that server or website, it is flooded, and it cannot respond to the real user. And as I told, DOS attack and DDoS attack, anybody can like explain what is DOS attack and DDoS attack. Can you remember the class which we like followed previously? Anyone?
Denial of service attacks. So that means sometimes they do not do anything, but they just stop the flow of traffic for few times when it is required without doing any changes.
Okay, okay, perfect. That's right. So Ashit, it's right. Denial of service attack. So it is the traffic is overly flooded and servers becomes down, and real users cannot access it. So main difference between DOS attack and DDoS attack is, in DOS attack a single user attacks, and in DDoS attack multiple users attackers attack the server. So why to perform DOS, there is a tool called Sloris tool in Kali. If you are using Kali, I'm sure that you might be knowing this tool. And to run that tool, what you have to do, we have to write the command python 3 sloris.py. And for example, the name of the website, whatever the name of the website is, we give that name of the website. For example, it's my website called sumanpn.com. So I'll give python 3 sloris.py sumanpn.com. So it will flood into that, and it will attack a DOS attack. So when we do this attack, we're not using any kind of precautionary method. So there is a chances that we may easily be tracked. After that, we have a tool, aircrack.ng. We can this is a tool used for Wi-Fi things. So we can attack the Wi-Fi. So we can block the connection between Wi-Fi devices and connected devices and all. So basically, we using these tools, we can hack a Wi-Fi. Aircrack.ng. As we told, aircrack.ng, we can like after we can see list of devices connected through the Wi-Fi, particular Wi-Fi. It's a long process, and it is easy as well. So after seeing how many Wi-Fi's are connected, we can alter it. So we can force the devices to disconnect, and we can see the passwords. We can set the speed limit. We can access the system. There are many things we can do using forcing it, like aircrack.ng. So when you are using it, many operations can be done. See, when you use, there are some commands given there. Minus o is used to send number of packets at a constant. Say as I told, DOS attack and all. Even Wi-Fi, many users are connected, and minus o we can send many packets as number of packets we want. It will send a garbage packets. And minus a2, like we can use for base ID of a selected Wi-Fi. So we can change that. So most of the time, we see that whoever the bug bounty specialist and all, whoever they're in the companies and all who are working as a bug bounty, so we see they start from Wi-Fi hacking and then they go to bug bounty and all. So all the basic things start from bug bounty itself. And when we talk about the FatRat and Metasploit attack, anybody know what is rat attack? Rat, a full form of rat, or what is Metasploit? Most of you are using Metasploit and rat, right? Anyone? So rat is remote access tool. That is, as I told, it we send a payload and using multi handler. we operate the prod, like we use the system remotely, we can access the system. Okay, so FatRat is a tool and Metasploit is a tool that these are two famous tools that we use. So to create, so basically, let me summarize it. What a FatRat and Metasploit attack is. So FatRat attack and Metasploit attack, what we do, we create a payload. As I told, we create a payload either in APK form or say .exe, .pdf, any kind of payload we create and send it to the victim. And when victim uses it, you'll ask the permission, all kind of permission. Victim gives the permission, and then using multi-handler, we can access all the data. We can access his webcam, we can access his location, we can access any kind of system. So when we target into any Apple devices and all, it is slightly difficult because we need to find particular tool, and the security is also very good. Even in nowadays, even in Android also security is very good. Even if you're sending a file through email also, if there is any virus content in that, so you cannot only send that virus. So it will ask there is a virus, there is malicious file, you cannot send it. So you cannot upload the file as well. So this is the problem. This is the security that all the organization are updating. So it is very difficult to attack. But the thing is, we should find out a crack to attack. So when we you may ask what is the good thing about it. So good thing is, let's say there is a rival and all, or let's say there is we are trying to hack a social engineering attacker. So then we use these kind of attacks. So to open FatRat, we write a command called FatRat in terminal. And FatRat is easy tool, so there is no much like we need not change many things. So by simply typing one, payload will be created, and we can send that payload there only. And after opening, when we open MSF Venom, it is we use it while using Metasploit and all. It has a very built tool. So let me tell you, the FatRat is sub part of Metasploit. Metasploit, it's an improved version of Metasploit. FatRat is an improved version of Metasploit. So MSF Venom, using that, we can access the whole system. So first we create the payload, send the payload, and after a payload is sent, we access all the tools. We can access this computer. And same goes with Metasploit. When we create Metasploit, so to run the Metasploit, first of all, you have to type MSF console in the curly. Okay, so make sure that whenever you are using this type of tool, you are running it through root user. Okay, so after running this tool, Metasploit, after running the tool, we can see we should first we have to create payloads. So to create the payload, there is a command, metapreter and all. It's a long command. So localhost and port and all we have to give, and then the command will be created. And after creating the command, we should send that particular file to the victim, and we can again use that command, like access it, the remote victim system. We can access it through multi-handler. Yeah, and here there is multi-handler. As I said, payload we have sent. See the if you can see, first you use exploit multi-handler, and then we set the particular payload which we send. We set payload Android, since we are hacking Android device. So this is the command we have to give. And localhost is my computer ID host, and local port. Local port is this thing, is the port. These all things should match with the payload which I have created. So before earlier when I create the payload, then I'll give the same host ID and port ID, and after that it will be exploited. So after that we can access everything. Is as I told, we can access his screen, we can access his messages, we can access all the things from the system. We can access it through this particular thing. Yeah, guys, that's it for today. And coming days, we'll also do this in practical as well. So today also I tried this, and Metasploit. There is Android security has been updated. The payload was not being installed in Android device. So coming, we'll see what we can do. So if I see any particular thing, new updates, then we'll surely go into that. So meanwhile, this is the thing. This is the things we can do using Kali. So when we talk about Kali, Metasploit and FatRat is the most like interesting thing, right? So when we can using payloads now, like while creating the payload, if I say payload.apk file will be created. If I give payload.exe, like we can hack it through, we can hack it Windows system. But same as when we talk about Mac OS and all, it's too difficult because while installing only they will ask many permission and they will ask password and all. So installing in the Android is a bit difficult. Okay, guys, any doubts?
Sir, once say about fat rat. I didn't understood
Yes.
properly.
Okay. So when we talk about FatRat is a tool used to rat attack. Like we use a rat attack. So rat attack is remote access. Like we access the tool remotely. So you understood Metasploit, right?
Yes, sir.
It is same as Metasploit only. So it is remote administration tool. Okay. So in you when you are using rat attack, same we are remotely administrating a tool. So creating a APK and all payload and all using FatRat is way easier. So just everything is pre-built. We need not type commands and all. So the first command is one. If I type one and enter, the payload will be created. They will ask whether you want to create a payload for Windows, Android, and all. So easily payload will be created. After creating the payload, we can send it to the victim, and again we can monitor it easily because everything is it is way simpler. Okay, so as I told Metasploit, we have to physically do we have to type every all the commands one by one, each and one by one we have to type all the commands. But when you talk about FatRat, or there are all pre-built tools. Yeah, like Metasploit only, it has improvised version of Metasploit. Everything is pre-built. For example, when we create a payload in Metasploit, there is a long command. Okay, uh, so when we create a payload, it's like metapreter, local host should be this, local port is this, everything. But when we talk about FatRat, everything is easier, way simpler. So like when we use the payloads in Metasploit, we should also mention about TCP, UDC, and UDP. And there are many things to be mentioned when we create payload using Metasploit. But FatRat, as I told, it's way more easier. That's the difference. There is not much difference and all, but it's a simple thing. Basically, your work will be easy in here. Am I clear? We'll use the tool FatRat. Any one tool, we'll use that.
Okay, sir.
Others, any doubts? Uh, okay, guys. Then, if you have no doubt, that's it for today's session. So coming days, we'll just post your team groups one by one, and make sure that you are ready with your project area. You can leave the meeting.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe. Praveen sir and Pushpa ma'am, you can leave. You have any doubts?
Sir,
Sir,
where is
where is
Prashant,
Prashant
sir?
sir? He did not attend the session, so he told he'll come at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
That
That
पोस्टर
पोस्टर
मेकिंग के
मेकिंग
बारे
के
में
बारे में
बोलना था
बोलना था
सर।
सर।
और
कौन सा पोस्टर?
वही सर,
वही सर,
इवेंट्स है
इवेंट्स
ना।
है ना। कौन सा इवेंट?
मैं नाम
मैं
भूल
नाम
गई
भूल गई
सर।
सर।
रील्स वाला
रील्स
वो
वाला वो
पूरे
पूरे
कोऑर्डिनेट
कोऑर्डिनेट
करने का
करने
है
का
ना।
है ना। अच्छा, किसको? मुझे नहीं पता उसके बारे में,
आ,
डील्स वाला।
नहीं,
नहीं,
कुछ
कुछ
लोगों को
लोगों को
कोऑर्डिनेट के
कोऑर्डिनेट
लिए
के लिए
पूछा था,
पूछा
उसमें
था, उसमें
प्रशांत सर
प्रशांत
भी
सर
है।
भी है।
ही
अच्छा,
एंड
ही एंड
मी
मी
फॉर
फॉर
पोस्टर
पोस्टर
मेकिंग सर।
मेकिंग सर। अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा। तो उसका?
हाँ,
हाँ।
उसका
उसका
हम
हम
सोच रहे थे
सोच
कि
रहे थे
इस
कि इस
मीटिंग में भी
मीटिंग में भी
बोल दें
बोल
कि
दें
अगर
कि
कोई
अगर कोई
इंटरेस्टेड है।
इंटरेस्टेड है। ओहो हो, हाँ, अभी मीटिंग हो गया है।
हाँ हाँ
हाँ हाँ। तो कल बोल सकते हैं क्या?
हाँ, ओके
हाँ ओके
सर।
सर। या
हाँ,
और 6 o'clock मीटिंग स्टार्ट कर देंगे। एक लिंक बना के भेज देना, अपना गूगल लिंक बना के भेज देना ग्रुप में।
मैं ही
मैं ही
बनाऊँ क्या
बनाऊँ
सर?
क्या सर? हाँ हाँ, अपना पर्सनल एक लिंक बना देना।
ओके
और
सर।
जैसे ये वाला जो हम प्रेजेंट मीटिंग कर रहे हैं, वो आई विल आस्क रिया मैम हाउ इट विल बी coordinated all the classes. Okay.
ओके
Okay
सर।
sir. Yeah. So we'll discuss about that. 6 o'clock. We'll see at 6 o'clock.
ओके सर।
Okay sir. Bye bye.
बाय।
Bye. Praveen sir, you there? Hello.